How's it going, everybody? It is Visual. I hope you guys are having a beautiful day, and welcome back to another Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon Wi-Fi battle versus Legion over here in the RU tier. So, just gonna lead off with my Rotom-Heat as he leads off with Metallic the Registeel. Obviously, he does not want to take an Overheat, so I'm gonna go for a Will-O-Wisp and burn this Affinity, the Flygon, into a crisp. So now its attack is halved, and it'll take a nice 6% chip every single turn. So I don't want to stay in and potentially take maybe a Toxic from this Flygon if he does have that, and or maybe if he wants to go for a, I don't know, Stone Edge if he has that, Dragonium Z. Who knows? I don't want to take down the Rotom-Heat, even though Rotom-Heat is bulky with max HP. Don't want to take it. So I go with my Drapion as he U-turns into his Registeel. Just going to go for a knockoff. Get rid of that Registeel's leftovers right there, which is very, very nice for me, as he just gets his Stealth Rocks up, and I'm going to go for a Swords Dance. And I was really curious why his Registeel stayed in, as it reveals it's going to be the yellow magic, and it is going to be Thunder Wave. So paralyzes me right there, hoping maybe for a 25% chance to para. And it has Rock Slide as well, so this is para hacks with Flinch right there. What an evil Registeel. But luckily, it is not enough to outspeed my Drapion, and he's taken a lot of damage from +2. And now I decided to throw off the Z move because I was expecting him to probably want to switch out at this point, as he does switch out into Flygon. Flygon is scary because it could fire off an Earthquake, even though I am, should be able to take it since I'm bulky and just naturally, and it is burnt. But he could be Groundium Z Flygon, and that can still hurt. So luckily I just drop that thing with the Darkinium Z knockoff, and then in comes the legs. Now last time, remember, he brought like a bulky Racket with Rocky Helmet, and this time he did as well, as I just go for the knockoff. Luckily no para, and he gets his Sticky Webs up, which is totally fine for me because I have a very good defogger in the back called Rotom-Heat. And yeah, unfortunately I get parried right there. I would have knocked out the Raquanid, but hey, it is what it is. He knocks me out with the Liquidation. So now I bring in my Rotom-Heats because I do not want the Stealth Rock sub or the Sticky Webs, because my Zygarde in the back wants to outspeed his entire team with the Banded 1,000 Arrows, as Zygarde should be able to outspeed his entire team, as he just stays in. I guess he was not fearing the Volt Switch. Maybe he thought he would live it, or maybe he just really thought I would go for the Defog. I don't know, or he probably will sack and interact with it as well. It does not matter to me because I'm just going to bring in my Choice Specs Gardevoir. Rotom-Heat did enough. Got rid of those hazards, and I can just go for these Choice Specs Modest Moonblast with Gardevoir. Oof, that packs a punch, as he brings in Solus, the Espeon. Espeon, last time he brought a screen set, this time he's bringing screens as well with Light Screen, as Moonblast actually 2 shots in Espeon after Light Screen. I mean, that's the power of Choice Specs and Modest Gardevoir for you. He actually misclicked right there, I do believe. I remember he said he tried to click Reflect, but I guess he clicked too fast, and yeah, he does not get a Reflect up, unfortunately for him, as in comes Drapion, and I just knock his Espeon out. So Drapion could go for a Swords Dance. If he got the Reflect up, I'll just stay in a Moonblast, because that would be my best play, as I don't want him to Swords Dance up, and then if I just hard switch in my Zygarde as he Swords Dances up, I won't be able to knock him out with 1,000 Arrows, I would assume. Even though I am Banded and he would get a Reflect up, I still think Drapion would probably live. But with no Reflect up, this thing is going to get bopped and it'll balloon back into another dimension with that Banded 1,000 Arrows. I love that move so much. In comes Registeel. That thing's going to get blown back into another dimension as well. I guess he thought he would live. I'm not too sure. But his last mon is going to be Mega Blastoise, and Leo should live 1,000 Arrows, so he could have kept Registeel in the back, to be honest. Even though he did lose his Leftovers, so it wasn't really useful anymore. You should never really let your Registeel get knocked off, by the way, because Leftovers is like a make or break for a Registeel. Once it loses that, it's going to be tough to keep Registeel in the game longer, and especially if you don't have Wish support or Healing Wish. So he knocks me out the Ice Beam right there, given since Mega Blastoise is so dang bulky. Now I go to my Gardevoir. Light Screen is still up, as he should be able to live a Moonblast, even though I'm Specs and Modest, like I said. He still should be living a Moonblast, because Light Screen is still up, like I said. So yeah, anyways, he goes for a Water Pulse. I live that. Luckily no confusion, and then I knock out the Mega Blastoise with the second Moonblast, and that's going to be a GG to Legion right there. Sadly, he misclicked on that Reflect, but like I said, I think I still had it in the bag with Shaymin in the back. Shaymin will take care of the Blastoise and will live an Ice Beam as well, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, Drapion won't be able to knock out Zygarde, and if I get Chip on it, 1,000 Arrows will be in range of knocking out Drapion. And Registeel, it had no Leftovers, so I could easily get rid of it. I mean, it wasn't even, I guess, Side Attack. It was like Thunder Wave and Rock Slide, Stealth Rock. Maybe what is the last move? Protect? Toxic? Who knows? But yeah, That is going to be GG to Legion. And up next we have versus Syvird. And actually, I forgot to mention this. I have Mega Slowbro on this team, but I never used it. I never Mega Evolved it because it's banned from RU. So this time I brought a Slow King with a Soul Vest because, I don't know, when this team was made by Solar. Yeah, it was with Mega Slowbro. But yeah, I changed it to Slow King this time around. And yeah, look at his team. He has Slow King as well, which is pretty cool. And very scary Pangoro, which is going to be annoying. And then Nasty Plot Salazzle, most likely, I would guess Z move, potentially. Or it could be Rotom-Heat Z move as well. But yeah, I'm thinking for sure that Pangoro is going to be banded. Could be SD though, which is scary as well. But yeah, I'm just going to lead off of Rotom-Heat. Leads up well versus the rest of his team, as he just leads off of Steelix, maybe hoping to get some Stealth Rocks up. But over here, I just fire off an Overheat. Just an off chance he does want to go for some Stealth Rocks. I probably should have Will-O-Wisp right there, because it will just weaken Steelix's attack, and also it would catch the Slow King on the switch. So now that I learned that, and I just Volt Switch on the Slow King, bring in my Slow King, as hopefully he does not get a Scald Burn on me, as unfortunately he does. Next time maybe Rotom-Heat is out on the Steelix, I'll go for a Will-O-Wisp. So he gets the burn right there, and that's pretty sucky, since now he gets to chip away at me every single turn with that 6%. Even though I do have a Regenerator, it can rack up fast. So I just throw off a Scald as my own, as he actually goes into Pangoro, which is very risky for him, because 30% chance to burn, man. If I burnt that Pangoro, it would be a lot easier to deal with. So over here, I make the predict as he goes for the knockoff, and Drapion has no item, so luckily it doesn't do anything at all, and I do resist it. So if he went for Superpower right there, goodbye Drapion. But I guess he was scared that I would stay on a Slow King and just like predict him to go for a Superpower. So yeah, I make a double into Rotom-Heat, predicting the Steelix want to come out, and now I go for the Will-O-Wisp as he brings in the Slow King. And that is really good for me, since now I, can chip away at it every single turn. I'm guessing he's a Soul Vest as well, just like me. I mean, judging from the damage from Volt Switch over here as well, looks to be a Soul Vest, since most Slow Kings are. Could be maybe Z move though, or Trick Room, but since I already saw the damage on it, I guessed it. So I went to Shaymin, predicting another Scald, but whew, he got me right there with that Fire Blast, as luckily Shaymin does live that. And over here, I'm just going to go for a substitute, since this Shaymin is going to be Leftovers with substitute Leech Seed, Seed Flare, and Hidden Power Ice. Hidden Power Ice is good for Dragon types and Gligar as well. Sometimes you might see Hidden Power Fire, but there's no Feral Thorns in this tier. Maybe you see a Feral Seed, but I mean, that's mostly an NU. And I guess maybe you would want Earth Power sometimes, or Dazzling Gleam, but Shaymin really just appreciate just Leech Seeding all of those guys and just subbing up. So I just go for another substitute, hoping for a Fire Blast miss, and also chipping away at Slow King's HP with the burn. And he might run out of the Fire Blast PP as well, since it only has, I think, 6 or 8. So he brings in the Florges, as I just get a Leech Seed off, and Leftovers Recovery plus the Leech Seed should put me in range of another substitute I'm hoping for, and I do believe it does, so I can go for another substitute and just chip away at this Florges even more. Florges seems to be probably the Cleric on the team. I was thinking maybe it might be Wish Protect, it could be just Synthesis with Heal Bell, Moonblast, and maybe Defog, I'm guessing, or Toxic. Toxic I think is more common though, instead of Defog, but who knows. Florges has a variety of moves that I can run. Kalina Ann over here. As, yeah, over here I actually don't get enough HP to get a substitute off, so that's going to suck for me. I'm going to switch out into my Rotom-Heat, since it should be able to take a Moonblast, and if it Toxics me, it's not the end of the world, since Rotom-Heat is pretty much just going to keep Volt Switching on his team, and not really stay in on much, unless he switches in Steelix on my Volt Switch and catches me right there, then I'll take a lot more chip. But he just Moonblasts me, as he takes a lot of damage from that Leech Seed. So I go for the Will-O-Wisp over here, again, just trying to burn the Florges, and maybe burn something else if he does want to switch out, as he goes for the Synthesis, getting as much HP as possible. But remember, Synthesis does not have a lot of PP as well. It has, I think, only 8 as well. So if he keeps using that, he's going to run out, and maybe my Pokemon can just whittle down the Florges, and once that's gone, it's going to be a lot easier to break through his team. So I just Volt Switch, get on out of there, as I go into my Gardevoir, and it is time, it is now to fire off some Moonblast. He does not have a switching at all. You think Mega Steelix is going to be a switching? Well, he didn't Mega Evolve it yet. If it was Mega Evolved, it'd probably be a lot better equipped to take on Moonblast. But since it's regular Steelix right now, it's going to do some big boy damage. Last time we played, I think, with Gardevoir, I Focus Blast into a Steelix switching in like 1 KO'd or something. So I guess maybe he was scouting over here with the Rotom Mo play, as I just throw off the Moonblast, and it lives on a Slither. Maybe just like 1 HP at that range, but he just goes for the Volt Switch, as I take that like a champ, since Gardevoir has massive special defense, and in comes the Steelix as I throw off the Moonblast right on its face, and that does so much damage. And the thing is, weakening Steelix makes my team a lot easier to just, you know, it opens doors pretty much to break down his team. Like, Drapion couldn't really break through his team with Steelix around, and now that I'm weakening the Steelix to the point where maybe Drapion could break through his team, it's going to be amazing for me where I can get one step closer to winning the game. So he goes for the Stealth Rocks right there. Kind of predicted that, as I felt like it would be very necessary to weaken Steelix as much as possible. And if I lose my Gardevoir to Heavy Slam, I'm down with that. Even though Gardevoir is my best way of breaking through his team, I still have Zygarde banded in the back, which should be just enough as well. So that's why I was like, if he Heavy Slams, he Heavy Slams. So he predicted me to switch out over there. As now he brings in Salazzle. I'm just going to switch out because I do not want to lose my Gardevoir just yet. I still have Healing Wish, which could be useful. Slowking should be able to take Salazzle on, unless he Nasty Plotted right there and then like Z-move me. Maybe I would go down, potentially. But he switches out and sacks his Steelix to the Scald right there. As, yeah, he doesn't really have too good switching. He doesn't want to get burnt, obviously. He could go into Florges, though. But I guess he wants to keep Florges healthy for the Gardevoir, and maybe Zygarde as well. So in comes the Pangoro, and it's time to claim a life with Pangoro. So I decided to sack my Shaymin, since Shaymin looks to be the most expendable member on the team. Since the Salazzle speeds it, doesn't really knock out Slowking, can't really beat Florges. Pangoro, maybe it can knock it out Sea Flare, but that's just too low of HP, so I just sack it, and now I get to bring in my Banded Zygarde, and he does not have a switch into this at all, as Slowking is going to get two-shotted by this. It is not going to be as defensive as Slowbro, since Slowking has more special defense than Slowbro, just naturally. He could be max defense, though, but I'm guessing he's just max HP, maybe special attack invested, maybe some special defense, maybe some defense here and there, but usually they're not max defense. As he brings in the Florges, I decide to switch out because I don't want to take a Moonblast to the face and lose my Zygarde, as I can always bring in Zygarde on his Pangoro, go into Rotom-Heat. Since Rotom-Heat is a very easy switch on the Florges, he makes a nice double going into the Pangoro right there on my Rotom-Heat. As now he can pick up another kill with Pangoro, since I have no switch into Pangoro at all. It demolishes everything. That's just Pangoro for you. So down goes Rotom-Heat. I lose the switch into Florges, but I get to bring in back my Banded Zygarde and click 1,000 Arrows again, and he's going to lose them on, since Pangoro is in range of, you know, getting one shot. And also, I guess he switched out over there because he said that he was -1 attack, -1 defense, and he was hoping that maybe Pangoro could live it, as some people thought that he should have just sacked Pangoro right there. But that was just one way of breaking through my team as well, since even though Florges can take a Banded 1,000 Arrows and maybe revenge kill me with Moonblast, I still have some switch-ins to potentially break through Florges as well. As now in comes Pangoro, but this thing is going to go down to the 1,000 Arrows Banded. It is not able to live it at all, since Zygarde is just too dang strong with Banded. I'm going to have, like, I don't know, a really bulky grass type to potentially stop Zygarde from just clicking those Banded 1,000 Arrows. I mean, heck, that's why Tangrowth is so popular, no you. So he goes into Salazzle's last Pokemon, and I'm just going to Banded 1,000 Arrows that as well, as it's just going to go down. And he went for the Nasty Plot, hoping maybe for me to choke and switch out, but I'm not going to allow that to happen, since I can see that happening a mile away, and I'm just going to be like, nope, not allowed. So yeah, GG to Syvird. This time, no hacks today. So that's good. But yeah, next up we have versus Trey over here, and Trey has a Gigalith but no Stoutland, so that's pretty interesting. Usually you see Stoutland with Gigalith, you know, abuse the sand with Sand Rush. But he does have some notable threats with that Noivern. Usually Z-move now, since Moltres is gone, they like to run Flying Z, Hurricane. Flamethrower, Taunt Roost is the most basic set. I've seen some devastating Drakes though, so let's just jump right into it. He also has Nidoqueen, so that's going to be a threat as well, since, you know, not too many switches to that. And Mega Blastoise, see that a lot. And Doublade could be annoying as well, actually. Doublade is very, very scary versus my team, as he actually just leads off with it. As I lead off with my Gardevoir, get that no guard, and I do not want to stay in and lose my Gardevoir turn 1 of the game. That is a bad idea, as I can have a easy switch in, which is Drapion. But he makes a nice call right there, predict me to switch out, go into Noivern, so this is really bad, since I do not want to take a Flying Z or a Hurricane. So I go to my Rotom-Heat over here, since I should be able to take a Flying Z. Now, was still scared of Draco Meteor, Dragon Z, but maybe Rotom could live one of those, since it is max special defense. As he actually reveals these Life Orb with a U-turn, so interesting, interesting. That makes it a lot easier to deal with, in my opinion. So, in comes the Gigalith, as he's pretty much free to go for some Stealth Rocks over here. I was really debating on not going for Will-O-Wisp over here, because I might miss, and if he goes for Stone Edge, goodbye Rotom. But I was like, you know what, I'm just going to risk it, and burning the Gigalith would be amazing to stop its leftovers from recovering. It will just be like, you know, basic Gigalith with no item. and also I can just chip away at it every single time I Volt Switch on it. As unfortunately he does get Stealth Rock, so Rotom, every time it switches in, it's not going to be good, since I'm going to take 25% of my HP every single time I switch in. So, gonna Volt Switch into Zygarde over here, since Zygarde should be able to take anything Gigalith wants to go for. I was expecting maybe a Stone Edge, since my Shaymin could come out, and if he Toxics, you know, Shaymin's ability, Natural Cure, it switches out, it gets rid of the Toxic. But he actually did go for a Toxic right there, so that's pretty interesting. I didn't expect that. But now since Zygarde is in, it pretty much claims a life. He does not have a switch in at all to Zygarde. As he thinks Blastoise is going to be able to switch in, but nope. This thing is going to get blown back by the Banded 1000 Arrows, as maybe Mega Blastoise could potentially switch in, but you need like a Melodic or something maybe to live Banded 1000 Arrows. But Melodic, if I get Stealth Rocks up or a Spike up, it's not going to be able to switch in. Unless it's Flame Orb, then yeah, potentially. Actually, funny note, this team doesn't have Stealth Rocks on it, so it does have T-Spike still with Drapion, which is useful for a substitute with Shaymin, because he can really whittle down teams with Leech Seed and stuff. But yeah, he sacks his Mega Blastoise right there. Toxic is racking up on Zygarde, but I'm not too worried about it, since Zygarde is resisted by Stealth Rocks. I'm not going to really take that much chip, and Zygarde really is just going to come in here, claim me life, and then switch out, so it's not going to take too much chip. So in comes Noivern. I pretty much have to sack a Pokemon to this every single time it comes out, as I'm going to Slowbro. I wish I had a Slowking. I wish I put that on there, but I forgot to put it on there, since, I don't know, I just forgot I even had Mega Slowbro. I thought it was regular Slowbro. But actually U-turned on me, which is pretty interesting. I guess he didn't want to miss a Hurricane right there, and I guess he doesn't have Draco Meteor, since he would have easily went for it right there. Or maybe predicted Gardevoir to want to come out, and he thinks I'm Scarf Gardevoir. But yeah, in comes Rotom-Mo, as I do not want to stay in. I just want for the Slack off to potentially live another Noivern hit, maybe hope for a miss, as he makes a nice play going for it. The Volt Switch right there. I was hoping that maybe he'd go for a Leaf Storm, maybe predict Zygarde want to come out, as you know, my ground type, he can't Volt Switch on that, and then Zygarde would get another kill maybe with 1000 Arrows, but yeah, Rotom-Heat's still a decent mid-ground play, as the Rotom-Heat, you know, can potentially just Volt Switch out on his entire team, and also, even though it does take Stealth Rock damage, maybe I was thinking about defogging, but Gigalith comes back out, and that does open doors for me to switch into Shaymin over here now on the Gigalith, since I should be able to take an Earthquake, should be able to take a Stone Edge, as he actually just throws off the Earthquake right there. I'm guessing the Gigalith is going to be max special defense as well. Usually they are with Leftovers. I like to run Protect Toxic build because it really whittles down teams. But Earthquake is nice as well for like Registeel and stuff. But yeah, Shaymin is here, and it's gonna go for a substitute now pretty freely. If he wants to go for Toxic, that's gonna be a misplay, since Shaymin has Natural Cure, like I said, and also I'll dodge that thing with the substitute. So he actually brings in Pokedex, the Rotom-Mo, and I can whittle that down pretty easily with Hidden Power Ice. It actually does a lot of damage to this Rotom-Mo, you guys will see. And I don't see an item on it as well, no Leftovers, so I'm thinking this might be the Z-Mover, since the Rotom-Mo usually would like to be Z-Move, maybe Grassium Z or Luxium Z, since the Noivern's not Z-Move, it's Life Orb. I was also thinking about being at Choice Specs, I could see that as well, since it could hit pretty hard, but you like to switch up boost sometimes, as it does not break my substitute, so I'm like, okay, maybe it's not Choice Specs. I don't even know Choice Specs can knock out substitute from Shaymin. I'm not running any HP investment, but yeah, he brings in Doublade, which is interesting. I thought he'd go into Noivern, since Noivern has Infiltrate, but Infiltrator at least, so, and that goes through substitute. But yeah, I guess he didn't. Maybe he was scared out of HPS or something, but I mean, I went fast. I was faster than maybe he was hoping that, or maybe he was thinking that I would be slower, and they didn't know. The HPS would just one-shot the Noivern, since it's 4 times weak to it. But yeah, I got a Leech Seed off on the Doublade, as Doublade will be whittled down by the Leech Seed, and I can just keep subs it up and pretty much just like whittle it down, and that'll be really good for me, as then potentially Drapion will just one-shot it with a Darkinium Z. As now he switches in Gigalith, gets the Sand back up, which is interesting as well, as I get a free substitute. Maybe he's really just trying to hope that I don't go for the Hidden Power Ice. And maybe he was scouting to see if I have Hidden Power Fire, because maybe I would have went for that on the Doublade. Since he couldn't tell with the Rotom-Mo, since Rotom-Mo is weak to Hidden Power Ice and Hidden Power Fire. So he brings back in the Doublade, as I just go for another Leech Seed, whittle it down some more, and I think I just fire off a Seed Flare as he goes into Noivern next turn. Since he did whittle me down enough to the point where maybe a Flamethrower from Noivern can knock me out. I mean, it is Life Orb, so it should be able to easily do over like 70 or 80% to my Shaymin, since, like I said, I'm not running a bulky Shaymin, I'm just running max special attack, max speed. So now he finally makes the play, I heard that comes out, and I just fire off the Seed Flare. Was really expecting it to come out, but I was like, you know, just go for the Sleet Flare. It does more damage to Doublade either way, and maybe he just wants to Swords Dance up and try and Shadow Sneak through my Shaymin, but makes smart play going into Noivern now. So I have to pretty much sack another Pokemon as I go into Slowbro, since Slowbro seems to be the most expendable member on my team. Even though Slowbro is max HP now, so he actually goes for the Roost. So I guess he did not want Noivern to get whittled down as much as he would like, and that's a good play as well. Pretty for me to switch out. Obviously, I'm not going to stay in with Shaymin and go for him prize, unless I wanted to sack Shaymin, but Shaymin does really well versus the rest of his team. So he goes for a U-turn again, I guess, hoping that I maybe... No, he was probably just expecting me, or he was probably expecting him to miss or something like that, and plus, he knows I live a Hurricane as well. So I just fire off the Psyshock. Unfortunately, does not knock out the Rotom right there. Lives on a Slither. Always these Rotom live on the Slither, man. But yeah, I just go to Shaymin, easily able to take a Leaf Storm and a Volt Switch, as now he just brings back in a Noivern, and pretty much I just want to keep my Shaymin and go right back into Slowbro and hope for a Hurricane Miss or something like that. Like, that's the plan, and every time Slowbro comes in, he might have to sack a Pokemon as well, since he does have a 2-go switch of Slowbro. So he does go for the Hurricane right there, loses a little bit of HP of Life Orb, so that's my plan, as he goes for another U-turn, which does not knock me out, so maybe he thought it would knock me out from that range, but the last time he didn't knock me out, so maybe he should have known from that range. So I actually go for a Psyshock right here. I was not going to go for Scald, since even though Scald seemed like to be the best play, but Psyshock did more damage to the Noivern, just an off chance he wanted to roost. But yeah, now I go hard in my Drapion as he goes for the Swords Dance, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be kind of scary if he knocks me out over here with the Iron Head or Gyro Ball. Gyro Ball would easily knock out Drapion at +2, so I'm like, please knock this out with the Darkinium Z. Knockoff, since Doublade could potentially win the game over here with +2 Shadow Sneak, since all my Pokemon are weakened to the point where maybe it can, as Doublade does live on a Slither, but he goes for the Secret Sword, and that is not going to be enough to knock me out. And he goes for the Shadow Sneak, and that is not going to be enough to knock me out. So Drapion living that Sacred Sword, living that Shadow Sneak is amazing for me. He could also be Shadow Claw as well, no Iron Head or Gyro Ball. I've seen a set like that as well, like kind of popping up with just Shadow Claw, Sacred Sword, Shadow Sneak, and Swords Dance, but I feel like you would really want to have Gyro Ball or Iron Head on a Doublade at all costs. So I just sack my Drapion to the Noivern's U-turn. He brings in the Nidoqueen, as now I get to bring in my Zygarde. And if this is going to be Shuckaberry Nidoqueen, then hey, it's going to be Shuckaberry Nidoqueen. I should have probably scouted for that, or just weakened a Nidoqueen, but I just go for the 1,000 Arrows, because most of the time they're not going to run that. I feel like I would be like the only one to run that. I mean, I've seen it like once or twice, so. So yeah, he sacks the Rotom right there. Now he gets to bring back Noivern, which, you know, got to sack a Pokemon to this, even though I haven't lost a Pokemon to it yet, which is kind of funny, even though I was really just going to sack Slowbro to it. But yeah, finally, he knocks out the Slowbro right there. I guess he was really scared of hitting, or missing Hurricane, since obviously we all know 70% accuracy means like 10% accuracy in Pokemon. So now I get to bring in my Gardevoir here, which should be able to live a hit from Noivern at anything, but unfortunately he misses that Hurricane. So, I mean, he hit every single one from the rest of, from the first part of the game, but I knew I would live a Hurricane, barring a critical hit, obviously, so 4% chance to knock out Gardevoir right there. So now in comes Gigalith. I decided to stay in and go for a Psychic, since I don't really need Gardevoir anymore, and plus I'm pretty sure I can live anything Gigalith wants to go for. Since I'm pretty sure I have this in the bag, since Zygarde literally just comes in and clicks 1,000 Arrows. But maybe I would want to keep Gardevoir, just an off chance. Nidoqueen might be a problem, but also I'm running Modest, and if Nidoqueen is max speed, it will just knock me out with a Sludge Wave, so. In comes Nidoqueen, as it turns out to be faster than me, which I expected. I mean, it's max speed, and he gets to knock me out with the Earth Power right there. And then I just get to bring in my Zygarde and click the 1,000 Arrows and hopefully knock out the Nidoqueen, as it should not be Shuckaberry, unless he is, but most of the time they're Life Orb. And plus I also still have, I think, Shaymin in the back to potentially do something. And I think my Rotom-Heat as well is still alive. But Rotom-Heat gets outsped, but Shaymin doesn't. But yeah, he's not going to be Shucka, and that's going to be a GG to Trey over there. So yeah, Zygarde Bandit is insanely good. It's just a massive threat against all these teams, just claiming lives. And Shaymin is also annoying with Leech Seed. So yeah, GG to Trey. And then in the last game is versus Joey. Not Joey Fontaine, another Joey. So looking at his team, we have Snorlax over here. That's going to be a problem. And Exploud. Always wanted to use Exploud in RU. Since Exploud has more special attack than Swellow, and it also has access to Boom Burst, and with Choice Specs, it can do some big boy damage. And also has Scrappy, just like Swellow as well. So it's pretty much a slow Swellow, but has more coverage, at least. But and also a little bit more bold. So, yeah, I lead off Drapion. Looking at his team, I really like T-Spike since it can Toxic Spike, or, you know, Toxic the Blastoise if he wants to Wrap Spin, unless he has Defog on the Mana Buzz. But yeah, I had a really good matchup with Drapion versus his team. As he brings in the Rotom-Heat, I wasn't really scared of Will-O-Wisp. I mean, if he does want to go for that, that's fine. I just want to get rid of its item if he is going to be having the item. And it turns out he is going to be Leftovers Rotom-Heat, and he throws off the Overheat, which is amazing for me since I live that. And I decided to go for the Darkinium Z over here. Pretty, you know, premature, but maybe he wants to stay in since that seems to be a bulky Rotom-Heat. That knockoff did nothing. And I am Adamant Drapion, by the way. I didn't mention that. I am Adamant. So, it makes a nice play going to Mana Buzz right there, as this Mana Buzz is going to easily eat up that Darkinium Z. It's going to do absolutely nothing. And it turns out to be Leftovers Mana Buzz. I mean, that's usually what it is instead of Rocky Helmet. Leftovers is always a given on Mana Buzz. And also it's U-turn, so that's good to know. Usually I'm scared of like Toxic Roost Mana Buzz, because that beats a lot of Pokemon with like knockoff or foul play. Or sometimes it could be Big Pex with Brave Bird. I've ran that as well. But yeah, I go to my Gardevoir here, since Gardevoir pretty much picks up a kill looking at his team, depending on what I go for. And I guess he over-predicted right there. And also, I think he said he was running a lot of special defense on the Mana Buzz, but no way in hell are you going to live a Choice Specs modest Gardevoir's Moonblast. You're just going to get dropped. So, in comes Snorlax. I'm like, what is this? That's immunity, that's for sure, because it didn't get Toxic by my Toxic Spike. And when I switched in Rotom-Heat, I was like, Jesus Christ, that's banded. Because that return did so much damage. That is like, wow. That's immunity banded Snorlax. That is pretty cool. I don't see that too much at all, but yeah, that's pretty insane. I thought it would just be a regular Snorlax with Leftovers and Rest, or it could be like the Pinchberry one with Gluttony with Curse. But yeah, that's cool. And also, he could have been a Solvis immunity. I've seen that more with immunity, but I guess Bandit is a thing now, and that picks up kills versus my team, so I have no Ghost type like Doublade. And also, it can Earthquake or Crunch the Doublade as well, if he gets the predicts right. But I feel like I'd rather run like Beware Bandit, honestly. It's just faster and also as bulky, but Snorlax does have good special defense. But anyways, yeah, brings a Nuxie. I just go on Drapion. I live that as I burnt him, which is very, very nice. And then I go for the Swords Dance, and I'm like, alright, this should pick up a kill on the Rotom-Heat. I mean, Poison Jab, really, really strong. Nope. Rotom-Heat seems to be running max defense or something, because it lives at +2 Adamant Poison Jab, and then knocks me out with the Volt Switch right there. So I'm like, well then, okay. I didn't expect that. Thought Drapion would go in. So, Uxie seems to be running max speed, since it did outspeed my Drapion as it U-turned on it. Since I am Adamant, so that's how I know. And Uxie would need to have max speed to outspeed me, as... Yeah, I'm just going to Shaymin, since Shaymin should be able to take anything. He can't status me, unless he has Yawn, which would be annoying, because I think that goes through sub. But, I mean, I have Natural Cure, so I could just switch out if that does happen. But, yeah, he just gets his Stealth Rocks up, which is reasonable. And, yeah, should be good to go for a Seed Flare. I don't want to go for a Leech Seed, because he'll probably go for a U-turn, and I won't get any recovery from that. And I'd rather just get damage up onto Uxie as well, as it's not really a threat, but might as well get rid of it, as maybe I might want to defog later with my Rotom-Heat. As now in comes the Snorlax, and Snorlax I can actually kind of beat down with Leech Seed. He can't really beat me unless it wasn't Bandit Snorlax, but I'm pretty sure it was, just judging from the damage. I mean, I didn't calc it. I can't even calc because my keyboard is broken right now, because for some reason it's a waterproof keyboard, but it's like I spilled water on it and it broke, so I got scammed. But yeah, anyways, that's beside the point. He realizes that this is not going to be able to beat my Shaymin, so he just goes into Rotom-Heat, and he's probably just going to sack it. I was really debating if Hidden Power Ice can knock out Rotom-Heat. I just go for the Seed Flare though, since I don't want to, you know, risk it. Living and plus Seed Flare, even though it can miss, which I was scared of, they can knock it out. So it's a really high base power move. So Shaymin is doing that work right here. As now in comes the Exploud, and Exploud does get Toxic, which is really nice, but Exploud can easily go through the Substitute. So yeah, I'm gonna switch out as I go into Rotom-Heat, as this Exploud should be able to just Boom Burst something and claim a kill. So yeah, I actually forgot Rotom-Heat was that low, so I couldn't really defog the rocks away. So yeah, that's why that Rotom-Heat was a sack. As now I bring in my Banded Zygarde, and Banded Zygarde is gonna claim a life over here. He has no good switching at all, like always. Everybody doesn't. As now it comes Uxie, and I'm just gonna, you know, blow that thing back into another dimension. As I mean, it was low enough to the point where it would get knocked out by anything really, like maybe even another Seed Flare. So brings in the Snorlax, and I don't want to stay in because I don't think 1,000 Arrows will knock it out. He could be max HP, max attack, is what I'm guessing. So I'm just gonna go into my Slowbro. Slowbro is pretty defensive, max HP, so maybe it could take 2 returns Banded, but nope. That thing is gonna get 2-shotted. As luckily I'm faster, I go for a Scald, hoping for a burn, but unfortunately that is not going to be the case. So yeah, down goes my Slowbro, and now I'm like, alright, time to go for a Banded Outrage, because hopefully this will knock out Snorlax. If it doesn't, that may be kind of bad, actually. But I feel like it would, since Snorlax doesn't really have the best defense. Really good HP and really good special defense, but not the best defense, I would say. As luckily, it does get knocked out. So, in comes Blastoise. You already saw how much the 1,000 arrows did to a regular Blastoise before. So this Banded Outrage is going to do a chunk to this Mega Blastoise. And, yeah, just going to able to knock it out. But it's kind of scary, though, because I can see myself losing this if I miss some of my moves, pretty much. As he should be able to knock me out with Ice Beam right there. Blastoise usually always have Ice Beam. Water move, maybe Orders for your Dark Pulse. With no Rapid Spin or Rapid Spin. As I bring in Shaymin, and I'm like, alright, the best play over here is to go for a Substitute, because I will not have the risk of missing Seed Flare, and plus I don't think Hidden Power Ice will knock him out from that range, and I'll allow Toxic to knock him out, because if I miss Seed Flare right there, he goes for Ice Beam. Gardevoir might be slower than this last Pokemon, and I do not want that to happen. And potentially, Gardevoir could have been slower than Mega Blastoise as well, so. And plus, maybe he could be a Soul-Wisp Exploud, and he might live my Specs Modest Moonblast. So, yeah. But, luckily, I don't miss the Seed Flare on the Exploud, knock it out, and it actually turns out he's going to be running the wrong ability on Exploud, because over here, with the Trace, I found out he is going to be soundproof. I'm like, oh my god, I could have walled you with my Gardevoir, because I could easily just switch in and be immune to your Boom Burst. So I guess he even acknowledged that after he knocked out Shaymin. He's like, wow, I just realized I'm soundproof. And he's supposed to be Scrappy, since Scrappy is the best ability for Exploud, since you can hit Ghost types with your normal moves. So yeah, that is going to be a GG to Joey right there. I feel like I'm really good at RU, I don't know. I always win more games in RU than anything other tier. Well, except for PU, but yeah. Very good games today versus everybody, very close. And this team is really good. I like it a lot. Made by Solar, so shout out to him. And yeah, take off Mega Slowbro, maybe put a Slowking or whatever you really want, to be honest. Maybe another Mega, I don't know, Mega Blastoise could be good as well. A bulky water type. I'd say maybe Slowking though, because this team would need some special defense, that's for sure. Don't have two good solutions for, you know, special attackers like a Boom Burst Mon, because Rotom-Heat does not appreciate that, even though I'm running max special defense. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, do your thing, and yeah, I already said that thing. But common question of the day is, I guess, what is your favorite Leech Seed substitute mon? We got a lot of those. We got like Prankster, Whimsicott. I've seen Superior with that as well. Beats down Heattrans and OU. That's why it's so dang good with Glare as well.